Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. I take two on my Sunday night live. I had to start over. For some reason, I froze up. Anyway, we were talking about all the strange natural disasters we're having. You know, don't forget Lahaina, Hawaii, and the fires in LA and the hurricane that went through the western part of the southeast and stuff like that, right? So anyway, I don't know what happened last time, but I got cut off. So we'll see if it's going to work this time. If not, maybe YouTube decided that they were going to chop me down. I see we got somebody here. Anyway, maybe Joey will stay away this time. So I tell you what, my channel's sure been growing, but we're going to talk about the natural disasters. But my channel's really been growing. Appreciate all the subscribers I got in the last few days. The algorithm must have fell asleep, so to let my channel get out there, you know. So everybody enjoy the show. Like I say, this is my take two. We'll see if we can get going here. I want to get a couple more minutes for people to show back up, but maybe this live stream is going to be not good because it's not going to be good tonight because Google showed up and started erasing messages, and then I froze up. It's amazing how sometimes things just don't seem to go right in the technical world with this platform, especially if all of a sudden your channel starts going ping, 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 like you're winning extra games on a pinball machine. So anyway, let's get into the subject again. Well, I was talking about before I had to sit there and reset. Am I there? Am I there, everybody? I don't know why problems with my YouTube channel tonight. It says it was me. Am I connected? Can I get a 5x5 from somebody to see if I am still there? Hey, I am still here. Hi, say hi. I tell you what, I'm having trouble getting my live stream. It's kind of like they don't want me talking about the strange weather phenomena that we've been having. Anyway, never mind Joey. He's a little 5-year-old that's in here under his mommy's wing and he can't get his way. So we'll just let him go. He's trying to make my channel really. But we were talking about natural disasters, okay? Now we had the one in Hawaii with Lahaina burning down. And you had the hurricanes in the western part of the southeast that hit quite a few states. Okay, and it seemed like the government really never cared about. Do you remember those people? In Lahaina, I think they got $750 free and clear. I think in the hurricane that they had to deal with in the west of the southeast, wasn't that just a loan, if I remember right? Anyway, so what's wrong with Jeff? Just ignore him. You know what? I need to get moderators on here so I can take care of stuff like that. Maybe Google will show up this time, but this is ridiculous. This is one reason we have problems in this country, because we have adult children like that, okay? Adult children. This is an adult platform where we come to discuss adult things, okay? If you want to be an impetuous little child adult, then go somewhere where, you know, you just show them the way you are, okay? I know. I'm going to get moderators. I'm figuring YouTube out, and I got to figure out how to do the screen, but yeah, I'm going to get some moderators in here. That's one thing I think Google's getting pissed off at me, and they show up, and it's like then the channel gets shut down. But anyway, why? This is the thing. We're all adults. Why the hell do we need a moderator? You know what a troll is? Let's say I'm having a party at my house, a gathering at my house, which I'm having a gathering on my channel right now. But let's say that the channel is my house. And everybody here wants to hear what I have to say. And somebody walks in being obnoxious as hell, just trying to cut me down in front of my friends and in front of the people that want to listen to me and wonder why nobody likes them. Okay, you can't fix stupid. Yes, you can be lava kaya, yeah. Kia. Yes, but I gotta, like I say, I gotta figure out how I get to that screen again to do that. I'm still figuring out the YouTube thing. My channel really hasn't taken off, but I was used to dealing with 20 to 40 viewers on a live stream, and now I'm dealing with thousands of stuff, and I see what comes with it. But the best thing too in the chat, knock them people. It's like, whatever. We see how you are. You also gotta have good apple pie. You have a lot of nonsense roll off your back, and you have, okay, boomer. All these people that get mad at boomers, I miss the boomers. I think the boomers stopped at 64. I was born in 67. So, but, you get pissed off at the people that created the greatest country that ever existed for you to live in. Who the hell would be mad at somebody for that? Anyway, I see we got Joey in here again. Hey, hello, Sheldon Cooper. How's it going? Anyway, but these natural disasters and what happened in Texas on the 4th of July. Yeah, we didn't have a terrorist attack, thank God. Mother Nature struck, didn't she? I don't even know how you would. What was that rain coming? Almost 3 inches an inch every 3 minutes? I don't even know how you can maneuver in that. You're like, that's incredible. What they had, completely incredible. Now, I don't know what's causing it. I don't think man has the ability to control the weather. The ability to control something that's more powerful than our atom bombs and stuff. The power that's in a hurricane and stuff, how do you control that to throw all its might on the 400 miles away from the coast? I know, this is what I mean. This is what happens when liberals don't take their medication. His mommy needs to come down and spank him. I don't know. But don't worry, we're the ones with the problem. So I think he's trying to say neighbor. Neighbor, he's a nincompoop. Yeah, let's all ask him, what's the N-word? What's the N-word? So, see, as soon as I get a moderate, but the thing is, he'd come back under a different name and do the same thing. You can't fix stupid. These people are beyond stupid, okay? These are the people that think Alligator Alcatraz is Auschwitz, okay? I guess they got the ovens and the gas chambers right next to the runway, huh? God bless President Biden. Oh boy, we're getting it all in here. Come on, buddies. Come on, buddies. Yeah, well, somebody needs to bless President Biden because he's going to need it when he goes up to heaven. Anyway, but A10 hyper. Oh my God. Look at it. Okay. See, this is what you deal with. You deal with liberals. You got to feel sorry for them. See, this is the thing. When people let mental illness progress till it gets to this state, and these people are in actual pain, this guy's in pain, people. Joe is in pain. He hates himself. He hates what he sees in the mirror every day. So all he can do is get on YouTube and hide behind his name and start problems, but he hates himself. This is what happens when mental illness isn't corrected. And Joe probably believes that men can get pregnant. What do you do with that stuff? Okay? But I guess we got to let them act out. Because if you microaggression them, you might get the Carmelo Anthony treatment, huh? I can't boot him because I don't have moderators. I don't know how to do that stuff. So, Joe wants to do that. Maybe Google will show up and boot him. But You know, eventually we ain't gonna have to deal with these people. Okay. Eventually these people will wake up and know what communism is. I don't understand if you hate this country so much, what the hell are you doing in it? Especially when you're trying to freeload off the American taxpayer. What the hell are you doing in it? Anyway, now we're getting to Pride Month and these two must know each other. That's okay, guys. Don't worry. Tomorrow night I'll have moderators and we'll be getting rid of all these people. So you are anyway. See, this is what they do. God, I wish Google would show up right now and do something. But see, Google would do nothing about this. Don't worry, I'll be rid of these immature little pricks tomorrow. But the rest of you just have your discussion, and I'll pick up. We have CIA operatives in this chat. No, we have some really weird people. This is the thing, too. I'm a logical person. I like being intellectually stimulated. Now tell me, what comments are here are intellectually stimulating from these morons? Which one? Which one isn't past maybe a 4-year-old, like you're talking to a 4-year-old? You know, I had children. I know what it's like to talk to children. But my children weren't quite like this. Yeah, pride isn't a virtue. It's an original sin. Lucifer was cast out of the heavens for murder and theft, but pride. All I know is one day these people are going to be 70 and 80 and 90 years old. And they're going to have to look back on the retarded shit they did. And they're going to feel so embarrassed if they're still alive. Because let's admit, when you live a life of pleasures of the flesh, well, your flesh usually ends up getting contaminated extremely bad. Okay? Now we're getting into Black Lives Matter. I think all lives matter. I can sit there and stroke liberals all day long. The thing about it is they can sit on my channel and do this, right? But like I say, I lived in Minnesota, came from Minnesota. During the pandemic, I couldn't get one piece of shit liberal ever to stand up to me. Imagine that. Not one. So anyway, in this white black thing, just think how unintelligent you have to be. How much of an ignoramus moron you have to have somebody be able to divide you from somebody else just because of the color of their skin. I mean, that's an intelligence level I'm not able to get down to at all. Like a lot of blacks aren't able to get down to that intelligent level. A lot of Mexicans aren't able to get down to that intelligence level. A lot of Asians aren't able to get down to that intelligence level. But we still got some people in this country, oh my God, you're a different color, you're special. And I watched a video today of this black lady, younger lady I was talking about, how don't celebrate the 4th of July, don't go and patronize these white businesses, go see what you can do for the black community. And she's all dressed up, looking pretty and stuff, got, thousands of dollars worth of jewelry on. And I'm looking at her, it's like, yep, you look like a slave to me. You definitely fit the slave profile perfectly there. Anyway, I tell you what, if you like, this channel will never ask for donations or money. I don't sell anything. But if you want to support the channel, hit the like and subscribe and the bell notification. That's a good way to support the channel, the only way. And when the channel gets big enough where I get monetized, then we can let the advertisers pay. Especially with Joey and his buddy in here with all these comments they're putting, they're just promoting my channel left and right. This is the thing about a liberal. They're so emotional that everything blows up in their face, like the No Kings protests on the 4th of July. Really? I wonder what the ultimate statement of the Declaration of Independence was. Well, wasn't it to tell the king to get fucked? But don't worry, we won't sit there and state the obvious, okay? Because Joey wants to be neighbors with me, so, you know, I don't really want him to be my neighbor. He couldn't last 5 minutes where I live anyway. Gotta take good with the bad. Boy, Joey, I hope a tornado don't ever come down on your earthquake. Oh, getting back on the weather, okay? Now, are human beings actually the cause of this? Do we got some satellite in space, you know, like that, what was that? Under Siege 2, that movie, where you have some, you know, a satellite that can cause earthquakes. You know, I wonder if you hit a, you know how you got a, let's say a laser beam? What would a intense beam of frequency or sound be like? Let's say a high-pitched frequency, where it came down in a concentrated beam like that. I wonder what that would do. Anyway, I'm just thinking about earthquakes. But now, with all this weird weather, you know, I know we don't have chemtrails or nothing like that. I realize it's just jets dumping fuel for 400 miles and stuff like that. But, you know, is that something to do with it? You know, when you go out, I've made videos of chemtrails, right, on my channel that got put under YouTube prison. But that one didn't get, that channel didn't get, or that video didn't get played and stuff. But it's weird, okay? You know, we all seen, if that was the case, it was contrails like that. Do you know what the skies over Nazi Germany would have looked like during 1943, 44, and early 45? They wouldn't have been able to drop any bombs because they wouldn't have been able to see through the skies. Anyway, crazy time. But, you know, people see them and they just want to say that they don't exist. Whatever. But is that part of this cloud seeding? I just don't think that human beings have the power. You realize how much power it would take to manipulate Mother Nature? And then that's always the thing. You're going to have the butterfly effect. And they would know this. Which at the end of that butterfly effect would be, but they're dealing with stuff. You need a moderator, I know I'll have a moderator in here tomorrow. You should be careful walking to your car. Why? You want to know where I live? I live in an area where I don't even have to lock my house. I don't have to lock my car. I can go leave for 2 weeks while I do my job, and I can leave my house unlocked. It's just fine. I live in an area that has less than 2,000 people in our county. Believe me, if you're a stranger in our county, you're being watched. And nobody in this county cares what political affiliation you are. Okay? They protect each other because they know that you're here to mess up everybody's life. So as a Marine, I'm not going to fear shit. Okay? Tell me to fear. Don't fear walking to your car. You guys need to watch some of my shorts and see where I live. I can see anybody coming for miles. Miles. And all these people that sit there and say that to me, that they couldn't last 10 minutes out of the city. Sorry, there ain't no Starbucks here. There ain't no Walmart here. There ain't no big box stores here. Nothing just but us hicks that cling to our Bibles and guns. So it's probably not a safe place for you to come. That's what you left, love, fear. You're hired. Hired? Okay, anyway. But yeah, this weather anomalies. What's the next one going to be? Are we going to have another big fire? You know, the thing about the LA fire, I think a lot of that might have been terrorist activity, people setting fires. You know, a little bit less man-made, or I mean, natural disaster, more man-made. But then again, if they're creating this weather, I mean, how do you explain Texas? How the hell can you explain that? God, can you imagine if you were in a blizzard that hit like that with that much moisture? Well, let's just say a third of the moisture, but they got 17 inches. So you're talking, let's say 6 inches worth of moisture in an hour in a snowstorm, what should be, you know, 60 to 70 inches. I mean, to me, that would almost like suck the oxygen out of the air. It would be unsurvivable, that's for sure. Okay, I've seen some squalls come in, a snow squall, 4 inches in the first, you know, half hour where it hits that hard. But anyway, Joey, have your fun, because I'm going to have some moderators. I'm going to figure this YouTube thing out. See, this is the thing about my channel. Am I still live? Can I get thumbs up? I got reconnected again. Why is your shirt the same color as your skin? It's because I work out in the sun all the time. It's called a tan. Spray on tan. Actually, I haven't seen spray on tan, man, here since I've been here. I hope you're having a good steam. I've been here. I hope you're having a good steam. Anyway, yeah, I got reconnected again. Hey, everybody. I don't know what the hell's going on. My channel's having some serious issues. It keeps connecting me like I never had this. Connecting me like I never had this problem before. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Somebody needs to be a hard drive. Bro, you went through hell and there was so many people helping. They'd never asked if we were liberal or conservative. On the day nobody cared. Right. I mean, I been burned the next day. Even when Jimmy Carter got elected, okay? What happened? I don't receive. I don't know. I tell you what, I don't know if it's the weather that's causing this. We had some storms going over, but it's like I'm losing my connection with YouTube, because I see Joey's back. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you being here. Sure wouldn't want to miss you. Joey's telling us that he wants to be a neighbor with everybody. Like a good neighbor, Joey is there. You got to have fun with it, because otherwise they just don't say, I'm calling the police on you, dude. That's the dude that sold me the meth. Finally found you. Oh, okay. Where am I? Oh my God. I tell you what, the trolls are out bad today. Boy, the channel must be kicking off big time. This is where you really get these people. You check out my shorts. Yep, I fit that description. So anyway, this is what you have to deal with. Like I say, when mental illness isn't treated and it gets worse, like other diseases get bad, this is what you got to deal with, people. And these are the people that when they get older and their mommy dies and they can't take care of themselves, I mean, how do you think Joey's going to make it on the street? just pull outside his house, and the old white dude, Joe, come on, man, grow up and you can't talk logic to these people. He doesn't even care. He's embarrassing himself. I mean, these people sit in front on a freeway in front of vehicles. This is the mentality of the other side that we're supposed to somehow come to agreement with. We're supposed to be compassionate for them. You get in front of my 3/4 ton Ford, I'm going to run your ass over. Okay? I mean, I don't know what to tell these people. I mean, the most tolerant people that we have in this country, right? Seem to do all protests all the time about what they're not tolerant of. Well, the rest of us have jobs and go to work. When they try, stupid. All they do is want to cause trouble, make somebody's life who's enjoying their life harder because they don't enjoy it. They hate themselves. They hate their lives. So the only thing they can do is go out there and try to sit there and ruin somebody else's day because they never have a good day. This is what happens when you don't like what you see in the mirror because you can't hide from that person. Okay? That person in the mirror you see every day knows all your stupid bullshit. And these people can't face that person in the mirror. So what do? They do what Joey does. Okay? They try to hide it with medication. They try to sit there and become a thorn in somebody's side just because they get joy out of that. Who the hell, I get joy out of, I try to do a good deed every day. I get joy out of opening the door for somebody. Okay? Older person, female, whatever, a guy, whatever. Got their hands full, you open the door. That's one thing when I was married, I always opened the door for my wife. But whatever the good deed is, and any good deed that you get paid for is no longer a good deed. A smile, even if you get a frown. Do a little bit of something to help make the world go round. Okay? Channel reported. Anyway, sponsor given a bad review. Do you think I care? I'm not on here for the money. I'm here to tell the truth, to get the truth out. I got a job. I make money. Okay? All these, everybody's so hypersensitive to words these days. Jeepers cripes. I grew up getting screamed at by my parents. I went to boot camp, Marine Corps boot camp, to get away from home. In boot camp, fun I was having. Well, I'm getting insulted. So these little trolls that are nobodies think they can sit there. The only thing I don't like is it interferes with the people that want to communicate on chat. But anyway, I knew I should have sat there. But I tell you what, aren't liberals some of the most nasty, miserable pieces of shit on the face of the earth? They wouldn't know how to have a good time if any good deed you do, that what you get money for isn't a good deed. What a great, yeah, it's not. That's something you're doing out of the goodness of your heart, the kindness of your heart. I mean, tell me, what good deed did Jesus ever get paid for? Name one. Name one. So anyway, but that's what we should strive to do. And then maybe some person would sit there and, let's say Joey had a neighbor, that Joey was doing this shit to his neighbor. trying to piss his neighbor off every day. But what's his neighbor do? When Joey drives by him and starts his shit, his neighbor waves to him and smiles. Have a nice day. And does that every day when Joey's being obnoxious as can be. And the neighbor just keeps going. You know what happens? Eventually, Joey starts waving and saying hi. But until then, we'll let Joey keep saying neighbor. Why do you get hated? Because I don't want you to suffer. Why do I get hatred? Because I don't want you to suffer. I don't mind suffering. I have suffered beyond belief, okay? Words don't hurt me. And I can defend myself so somebody's actions aren't going to hurt me. I wish people could sit there and start feeling good about themselves. Stop listening to these politicians and stop hating your neighbor just because it's the thing to do. Okay? Oh, I guess we got more in here. You don't know what pain is, huh? Really? Yeah, what would you base that on? Why don't you go watch some of my shorts just to see if you could do the job I do, okay? I tell you what, see, nobody's a tough guy, right? Just us guys who can press the X button really good. I never wanted to be a tough guy, but, it was part of the job for a while. So, but I try to be a passive individual out here. I really try to get along with everybody. I don't try to get nuts. But when people push me and they want to play with the tiger, well, I let the tiger out of the cage and he's allowed to play for a bit. And I say, play. Because anytime I deal with a civilian, it's playing with you. I don't know what to say it. Some guys in the service, that were in the service in the ground side and stuff and did all this crazy shit. We don't sit there and go around looking for problems. I've been told before, you can't use that stuff you learned in the Marine Corps against these guys. I said, why the hell not? They're the dumbasses that are willing to take on a combat Marine. Maybe that's not the smartest thing to do in the world. Why ex-military are capable of not... most people never have had to do, they don't understand. That's why all these civilians, I think they want to push transgender into the military. And stuff. You don't understand. It isn't going to work. You're not in it going, it's just not going to work. But, the military, that was part of my life. Yeah, it was tough. I pushed myself to where I should have died and then kept going. So, Joe put in the work. Everybody's spanking. I tell you what, Joe, he must just be. See, the thing is, we're getting under his skin because otherwise he'd have left by now. We're not filling his gas tank yet. Sorry, Joe. I'm not going to call you my neighbor. I'm just not going to call you my neighbor. I don't think you're a good neighbor. I think you might sit there and let the weeds grow in your lawn, and then, with my pristine lawn we might have problems. Anyway, like I say again, this channel will never sell anything, ask for money or donations, but if you want to support the channel, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, the thumbs up, share the video, and leave a comment like Joey's doing. Because we all want to know what Joe has to say. I don't know, he may not be around tomorrow. I'll have to, maybe. My kids, sometimes I have them just watch a live stream. I don't sit there and have them. I tell them, you cannot type anything in the live stream. You just got to watch it. And, they talked to me afterwards. Dad, how do you put up with that stuff? I said, look who it's coming from. I mean, if the person that's coming from could even tread water, they might even be worth thinking about. But you got to remember the source, everybody. Remember the source. But I see everybody's getting tired of Joey, so we're going to call it short tonight. I tell you what, one of these nights I'm going to do a dissertation, and Joey, you might want to be there for this one, but you'll have to behave because it's going to be a classroom environment. I'm doing a dissertation on Paul Harvey's If I Were the Devil, and I'll run it like a classroom. No obnoxious thing. Brother Brent, if I was in the military, I would have done chaplain and probably would have gone beyond 2 or 4 years instead of going to college, but it was jawed by the Army and being religious. I tell you what, chaplains are very important, extremely important. In all, that's a very important position. You're not just, if you're still thinking you could do that, that would be a good idea, being a chaplain in the military. Okay, in the Marine Corps, they're in the Navy. The Marine Corps don't have chaplains or doctors or dentists and stuff, or corpsmen. The Navy takes care of all that. So anyway, but that honorable thing to do. What do you talk about here? Away English teacher play Paul Harvey for us. Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil. That's going to be about a 2-hour live stream. Yep. I tell you what, I did that live stream once on my other channel that got canceled, and I'm going to do it on this channel. I tell you what, that may be so boring that Joey won't even stay around for that one. Yeah, but imagine that back then, somebody like me would have been suicidal because conflict of interest with the religion. Yeah, but there's war in the Bible too. Right? That's the only thing man really does really well is war. So Paul Harvey, yeah. If you want to look it up, If I Were the Devil by Paul Harvey, came out with it in 1965. And you are not going to believe what you hear. I was a corpsman 2013, 2018. 3-5 Dark Horse, baby. So you got to wear those Marine Corps uniforms. Huh? The first time I saw, when I got to the fleet, and I didn't even know that the corpsmen got to wear the Navy, everything except the dress blues. And I saw these sailors, our corpsmen, walking with the fucking alphas on. I think some of them had the alphas and the other ones were wearing the Charlies. And I was like, no way. And they'd say, yeah. You know what we used to call them? You were a scrunt, a squid grunt. Killing is not something to rejoice in. No, but it's not. But it's a fact of life. And believe me, when it's you or the other guy, your self-preservation will kick in. War is not a good thing. Maybe that's something we should tell our politicians. Once we get our politicians to figure that out, then the rest of us will be safe. No soy boys, no. See, I can't even imagine what it's like being in the military. I'd get kicked out of the Marine Corps now for being too rough on them. Expecting too much out of them. Too much discipline and stuff. Yeah, we had to follow Marine Corps part standard. I tell you what, a Navy Corps, oh, that's awesome. Hoorah! Did you spend any time on ships, or did you spend any time on a Navy vessel and you got the... Anyway, no, we had ultimate respect for our scrunts. Anyway, my job wasn't killing. It was about serving good men and making sure they made it home to their families. Yeah. And that's what every commander wants. everybody in charge, from your sergeant, your lieutenant captain. They want all people to go home safe. And this is the thing. That's why you need the best of the best and the strongest and everybody that's mentally capable of handling stuff like that. If people don't even know what gender they are, I wouldn't call them I wouldn't call them fit for combat. I really wouldn't. Or maybe I'm just weird, but that seems like, oh, it is a psychological problem. It's called gender transphoria. Thank you for you, sir. I appreciate that. People who don't know the truth cost the war. Yeah, this is what I say. Days of infamy are brought to us by the leaders of our country, not by the citizens of the country, right? I mean, it's not the citizens of the country that are causing other countries to get pissed at us, like Japan and the embargo. I mean, we pretty much put Japan in a corner, and Roosevelt knew that. And they came out swinging. Anyway, the smartest folks live. Every had a pleasure of knowing we're active duty personnel. Yep. Active duty. It's like a lifetime ago. You know how you sit there and miss some of the times? I got to do a lot of things, see a lot of things, experience a lot of things, both good and bad. And it really woke me up to the way the world is. And that's why sometimes I really wish I didn't know what I know. Then I could sit there and act like an ostrich with my head in the sand, thinking everything's fine. Anyway, yeah, military folks, we're all little. People say, you're crazy. Really? You're going to call Marine Jarhead crazy? I can't know where that would come from. They don't want you to demand more help for veterans. Yeah, crayons. There's another one, Marine in the crayons. You can't tell a Marine Corps joke that I haven't heard. It's like a blonde's heard every blonde joke. I've heard every Marine Corps joke. I laugh at them. You know, like the Full Metal Jacket, right? The first half hour of that movie when they're in boot camp, if you're a jarhead, you laugh your ass off during that part of the movie. Because it's so funny. It's pretty realistic. Like with them setting up the mini grinder and the squad bays and stuff, but, you know, that guy shooting himself, that was improper, stuff like that. But, you know, yeah, us Marines might have a screw loose. Who would have thought that? That's what makes us so great. You know, like I say, who would you rather have in your foxhole in your front yard if the enemy was coming down? A Marine with maybe a screw loose or a soy boy? Apple pie, you don't get those things without servicemen. I'm liberal and I send care packages. That was one thing. When I was in the service and I was overseas, there was nothing better than mail call. Touching something. I mean, reading a letter, now I realize they don't do much on letters and stuff. And I actually got my hometown newspaper sent to me out there and stuff. But touching something that came from home. It was a connection that you had just for the littlest bit. But mail call was very important. And a very big morale booster. You need a taste of home, Sully. Okay, now we got 9. Woo. There's some crazy people in this world. I tell you what, you watch some YouTube videos and it'd be like, oh my goodness. And then I got them here. The more the merrier, like I say. All liberals are welcome on this channel too. I don't want to scare away any subscriber or somebody's going to help my channel grow. I don't want to sit there and throw away anybody that's going to help my business out, okay? I'm not like these stupid people that run their business on political correctness and wokeness, okay? I'm not going to tell half my customers I don't want them to come into my store. So all liberals are welcome here. You're more welcome here to show what kind of person you are. That's why we have freedom of speech. So you can express how you really feel and really act. So, oh God. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Tomorrow I'll have some see the guys just sitting there. Can you get a few more of your friends here? A few more. A few more. Let's see if we can load up on LGBTQA plus retards here. Okay. See if we can get them all here. The whole, 20 that are in this country. Like I say, with these people 40 or 50 years from now, got to look back to the way they acted and stuff. There might be some psychological issues they may have after that when they realize, oh my God, was I that stupid? Did I really do that? How old was I when I did that? Well, I guess I finally grew up when I... Oh, anyway, I sure do appreciate everybody being here, though. But I better go because I think there's a few people that need to get back to their porn channels in their basement. Their mommy's about to deliver their peanut butter and Skittles sandwich with the crust cut off. So I better go so they can get... Oh, I'm back again. Anyway, that's all I got for this evening. And I will be back tomorrow. And we'll see if the chat can go a little bit better. Yeah, I know. Hi, everybody. Anyway, everybody have a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Enjoy my shorts. Check them out. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. Hit that thumbs up. And I'm going to get some mod. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.